costs. In fact, Diabo supports Seto was there, and this is what she filed.
After postponing the media briefing on 2 occasions, the Economic Transformation Commission, chaired by Enoch Godogwana, finally announced its proposals, topping the list the sensitive issue around land.
There are 2 approaches then to that question. The first approach, as you might have known, is the one that says the quickest way to that route is the expropriation without compensation. A different view that says, no, the current provisions in the Constitution are sufficient enough, provided you can speed up the Expropriation Act to give effect to expropriation without necessarily amending the Constitution.
But it was the proposal around changes in ownership of the Reserve Bank that caught the market's attention, sending the rand into a tailspin.
The proposal agrees that the independence of the Reserve Bank should be guaranteed in terms of the Constitution. In fact, the resolution takes directly from the Constitution that quotation that it should be guaranteed. But there's general agreement that the anomaly of a Reserve Bank that is still in private hands is a problem. It's an anomaly. And I must give you this and say, since its formation in 1921, most banks, central banks, were in private hands. But generally, there's been a trend, a movement away from that across the board, particularly that started in the 1930s. And South Africa has not followed that trend.
The Reserve Bank has always had private shareholders who have no say over policy or the appointment of the governor. South Africa is one of the few countries that still has private shareholding of the bank.
The concern that is developing now, I think justifiable to some extent, that Reserve Bank policy may be interfered with, that is interference in monetary policy may be subjected to influence from those outside the bank. The bank is very clear in its mandate that is financial stability. Primarily that is it. And they do that through the interest rate structure, through having inflation targets, and I think that perhaps there's a lack of understanding that through some of the participants on the stock exchange as to quite what their ownership structure is.
The contentious and controversial issue of the mining charter was also discussed. The Chamber of Mines is already challenging certain aspects of the new charter.
We've never had disagreements about the targets. We've never have much disagreement about the beneficiaries. What is being contested is the design in the form of whether a free carry should be available for whether it should be a state or available to free individuals. That's a contested terrain.
The ANC has proposed that corruption within state-owned enterprises be looked into as a matter of urgency. The proposed recommendations will be taken to branches for further discussion. Final decisions will be taken at the National Elective Conference in December. Diabo Seto, SABC News, Johannesburg.